are listening to the most original talk radio station anywhere. We are LA Talk Radio at latalkradio.com.
You're listening to Oscar's Guitar Shop with Oscar Jordan, right here on LA Talk Radio.
I hear you whispering. Planning on stealing something?
No, ma'am, we're not.
Plan on murdering me in my sleep?
What? No.
Every day. Greetings and salutations. Welcome to another episode of Oscar's Guitar Shop. I'm vintage guitar writer, dude, extraordinaire, giver of money to my parents, Oscar Jordan. And I am burdened with glorious purpose. That's who I am. I give my parents money. How you doing? I have an exciting show. I'm really excited. It's our post-Halloween candy detox episode. I have an awesome guest and some very cool music to help you forget about the candy gorging and costuming that has absolutely nothing to do with Halloween. Did you really need to dress up like Marilyn Monroe? Really? Was Marilyn Monroe a monster? I'm asking you. Was it Abbott and Costello meet the werewolf, or Abbott and Costello meet the transvestites? I'm just asking. Was it? That's all. I'm just saying. People, it's masquerade ball, Halloween. They think it's all the same. Anyway, I would like to acknowledge Oscar's Guitar Shop listener, Matthew Jeffrey. He donated his hard-earned ducats in support of Oscar's Guitar Shop, and he got himself a Synaptic Groove Snapperhead overdrive pedal. Thank you, Jeffrey. You are a tall, strapping man among men, and I salute you. I really appreciate it. And if you want to see what I sent him, go to synapticgroove.com. Would you like to help support Oscar's Guitar Shop? Sir, sit down. Sir, please. Would you like to help? Go to oscarsguitarshop.com. Click donations to the show. Share the magic inside your wallet. I would personally like to welcome our new sponsor, Reunion Blues Gig Bags and Cases, and specifically Leah Murphy and Brett Paley. Thank you for digging the show. I really appreciate it. Please go to their website at reunionblues.com and buy every piece of merchandise they have ever made. When they're happy, I'm happy. That's reunionblues.com. Yes, just give it up for them, because I'm just so happy that they like the show enough to want to support it. Oscar's Guitar Shop is powered by Reunion Blues Gig Bags and Accessories. Legendary quality, affordable luxury. Visit them at reunionblues.com. Also, True Tone Music. Visit them at truetonemusic.com, making your music come to life. And last but not least, Mojave Ampworks. Visit the Oasis of Tone at mojaveampworks.com. Find out what Peter Frampton, Billy Gibbons, and George Lynch are talking about. mojaveampworks.com. Want to become a sponsor? Email me at oscarsguitarshop@gmail.com. And now, it's time. On the 1985 Megadeth album, Killing Is My Business and Business Is Good, Chris Poland unleashed a style of guitar playing that set the bar so high, he remains the standard for awesome progressive metal playing today. After completing Peace Sells, Who's Buying, Poland struck out on his own to crystallize his musical vision with Return to Metropolis, Damn the Machine, Chasing the Sun, and the best fusion band in Los Angeles, Ohm. A Gear Page Chris Poland fan said of Chasing the Sun, Poland's Chasing the Sun is a start-to-finish classic. It's a collection of tunes that Chris recorded and engineered essentially on his own, and the tones are freaking unreal. Poland is a multifaceted guitarist who traverses the mean streets of jazz, fusion, and metal, and does it with depth and a liquid violin legato. He's returned to Megadeth for recordings, wailed on Lamb of God and Queensryche Records, and alters Brain Cells with Ohm and a plethora of other side tracks. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Chris Poland. Hey Chris, how you doing? Are you there? Oh no, he's not there anymore. What happened? All right, hold on folks, I'm going to get him right back. He was here, but now he's gone, but I'm going to get him because I have talent. Check this out. Hold on.
Check. Hello.
There you
Hello?
are. I was introducing you, and I thought I lost you forever. How you doing?
I'm good. How's it going, Oscar?
Oh gosh, you don't know what it's like to hear nothing. I thought I was going to have to start telling jokes again. How are you?
Oh, I'm good.
Very cool. So, how have you been, sir?
Oh, I can't complain at all. We're really happy with where the band's at right now, and I just got a lot going on with Ohm, and I have a project in Chicago called Polecat, and I'm programming. I picked up an old Pod Pro, and I'm like trying to dial that in just to take there because I like to have something there that I know what's going to happen instead of just walking in and having someone else's backline there. So, but anyway, yeah, I'm keeping really busy.
So you just take the pod with you and just you've got everything dialed in like you like it, and would you just plug that into the PA system, or how do you do that?
No. I actually had a rig. I had a rig there, but the preamp I had there I didn't like, and so I was using some other stuff, and I decided, you know what, I gotta buy something that I know what's going to happen. And that's where I'm at.
Right. Especially when you're traveling, you got to travel light,
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm thinking, I was at your gig Tuesday at the Baked Potato, and I'm looking at your rig, and I'm like, God, you must have like slaves, man, just to haul that stuff in, and that refrigerator rack, man. Whoa! I mean, it's just like amazing. But I got to tell you, it sounds awesome.
Ah, thanks.
Yeah, it's just so smooth, and you've obviously worked hard on your tone, and it's definitely working for you. So, I know you're working the Polecat thing, which I really love. I've been listening to a lot of that. But so, as far as Ohm, I was listening to some of your Ohm jams. But is that going to be released? Do you have a special album coming out?
Yeah, it's called the Tsunami Jams.
Yeah.
And you can buy that, I think, on iTunes.
Mm-hmm. So it's already
available. Or CD Baby. I'm sorry, on CD Baby.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really good stuff. I was going through that. I got to ask you this. You're a Steven who helped me get some of the tunes for this interview. He sent me this track that you did with Jeff Tate with Queensryche, And I had listened. I reviewed that album. I didn't even know you were on it. It was like awesome. It was like wow. It was really cool.
Steve, he does well by me, man. He always gets me, good spots on records and stuff. And I did the Jeff Loomis record. That was a great track too.
Yeah, it's really good. What's it like going into the Queensryche camp and recording with them?
Actually, I didn't even see those guys. They just sent me a file, and I went over to Randy Pevler's studio. He's my guy that I do all my guest spots. I use his studio, and I basically just heard the track, and then we just went for it.
Right, you just fly it in. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, exactly. That's just the way they do it now.
We live in amazing times. Did you do the same thing with the Lamb of God session?
Yeah, same thing. The only session recently, well, not recently, but was the Megadeth record. The system has failed. I had to go down to Arizona where Dave was in a studio there, and I actually had to physically be there. Right.
Yeah. Well, it's good stuff. I'm listening to your material, and reading interviews and stuff, and you and Pag, Robertino Pagliari, do you guys actually sit down and write together for Ohm?
Sometimes we might do a jam, and then we'll make a song out of it. Mostly I just come in with the basic verse, chorus, whatever, bridge, and then we just suss it out from there. And Pag usually comes up with a good lead section for me, or we fall upon something where maybe it's a bass solo.
Right. Very cool. Because you guys, your tones are so complex, but I guess maybe you're used to it. I don't know, but with my band, I would forget the first thing I did by the time we got to the end of the song. You know what I mean? Because it's just you guys go so many places.
With the pedal board and all the sounds and stuff, what happens is it almost becomes like cues for sections and stuff, and it almost helps you remember the song because you have to go to button number 7 to get to the next section, and it's all wrote on my feet. My feet have to go to the same spot all the time, so it almost kind of helps you.
Yeah, that's cool. And you obviously you guys record all your writing sessions, and you can just always pull stuff and
Oh yeah, we record everything, all the rehearsals, and we actually we made our latest record already, and we did it live in the studio, but I think we all agree now that we're gonna make it live at the Baked Potato and just take the best takes we have from here and use those as bonus tracks.
Very cool.
So the next record's going to be basically, live at the Baked Potato.
Wow, that is awesome. Yeah, I remember I had for the longest time, I had in my car the sessions you guys did at KPFK, which was live, and it just really came off well. That was a really good record. People in Radioland, if you can ever find that, it's really good. It's just them playing in a room, all the guys, and it's just full blown. People, human beings playing together at the same time. It's really cool. I would like to play a track. This is from one of your side projects, Omfrey. From the album Post Haste. The song is called Tom Bombadil. And I'm going to play this track, and I'm going to love it. I'm going to go to a commercial, and then we're going to come right back. Check it out.
All right, cool.
This is a very, very cool track. I think people will dig this. Wow. Oh, man, that is awesome. So awesome. Reunion Blues is the music industry's top gig bag and case company. Ricky Skaggs, John Five, Buddy Guy, and Tosin Abasi all swear by Reunion Blues products. The Renegade Series gig bags feature eye-catching looks, exceptional craftsmanship, rugged durability, and a wallet-friendly price. It's a must-own for the gigging musician. Their Renegade Series combines the kind of perfect fit and features every musician needs. They're lightweight, contoured, and designed for comfort. Its soft, protective dual-layer foam and reinforced edges keeps your instrument safe as you carry your instrument in style. Each gig bag offers a variety of adjustable straps and spacious pockets. High-density double-stitch padding, quality leathers, and double riveting offers lasting protection and peace of mind. Yes, indeedy. Check out the Reunion Blues Renegade Series at reunionblues.com. That's reunionblues.com. That's right. Go there, buy stuff. Tell them Oscar sent you. Hey, Chris. Chris, you still there?
Oh, yeah. Hey, Oscar.
Oh, great. Hey, I want to go back a little bit because I'm fascinated by artists who basically they wear different hats at different times. Most guys I talk to on this show, they kind of work in one really cool corner of the room. You know, it could be blues or jazz or funk or whatever, but you have seamlessly moved from metal to fusion to different kind of things that have great, say, jazz influences. When you were in high school, what were you doing? What were you listening to?
Oh, man, I was listening to the Mahavishnu Orchestra, Return to Forever, and Stanley Clarke, and Weather Report, and, you know, Frank Zappa. But I also like, you know, Robin Trower and Led Zeppelin and you know, Cream and just all that old school stuff, Hendrix.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of a mishmash of all that. Beck and Holdsworth and Wesley West was a huge influence in high school. You know, when I, just growing up and playing.
Yeah. So you're a fan of guitar. That's, you know.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm actually a fan of guitar, but I love sax players. Like, you know, I used to listen to a lot of Michael Brecker and a lot of Wayne Shorter, and then I listened to a lot of, Chick Corea and Jan Hammer and certain keyboard players. Joe Zawinul was a favorite keyboard player of mine. So.
There's this really cool video that someone videoed you on. I took it. I think I put it on my site. But what it is it's you showing your legato technique and how you got it from Jan Hammer. And I want to know how much of that. I mean, it's one thing to like listen to that, and it's another thing to try to directly apply that to the fretboard. Can you talk about some of those people that you took information from and directly applied it to your fingers and the fretboard?
Yeah, I mean, as far as the Jan Hammer, the wheel bending thing, I just listened to that so much that it just started to happen in my playing, and I got really good at bending strings and getting the right pitch. And then the legato came from, basically I started getting into legato when I heard Jimmy Page's solo on Good Times, Bad Times,
mm-hmm.
on the outro solo where he's playing through a Leslie and it sounds like a violin.
Mm-hmm.
That was like the beginning of me loving legato. And then eventually I heard some Alan Holdsworth, and then I got more into legato. But then, listening to Jan Hammer, it's kind of a legato feel, the way he solos.
Mm-hmm.
And then, sax players are very legato, and like I said, I was really into Shorter and Michael Brecker, and
right.
So it all kind of, you kind of digest it,
mm-hmm.
and then eventually it just comes out and you're playing.
Right. And then, of course, you were listening to metal as well. Were you?
Actually, no, I never really was into metal at all.
So what prepared you for Megadeth?
I knew who Zap, Black Sabbath was. I'd heard their first record, but any of that British metal, I always just, I was always more into Cream than that. I got into metal when I met Dave. He turned me on to Merciful Fate and stuff like that. And then, of course, I listened to Metallica, and that kind of bummed me out because their production was always, in the beginning, was always so much better than ours.
Mm-hmm.
I was just that kind of bummed me out. But they had great songs too. I don't have any animosity towards that band like Dave does.
Mm-hmm. So let me get this straight. You basically were like a non-metal guy, and you auditioned for a metal band. Did you have to just kind of bone up on like stylistic things and like pedal tone riffs and all that, or was that just easy for you to make the leap for?
Well, when I used to listen to Zeppelin, a lot of that was just slowed down pedaling.
Mm-hmm.
And, once you learn the riff to Whole Lot of Love, it's kind of the same sound, really. It's just, you just apply pedaling to it. And we had been doing, we had a fusion band, me and Gar, with his brother Stu. And we had one section, and so we were into, playing complicated stuff. So when Dave showed us his music, we were like, yeah, we could play this. It's just physically hard to move around and play it,
Mm-hmm.
And so we liked the challenge of it, and I liked the sound of, that metal guitar sound. I was kind of digging that, so I got into it.
Wow. So you just you were taken over by the metal thing. That's cool. That's good to know. I didn't know that about you. I thought you had been a fan of a lot of different things, and you just said, this is in my toolkit, and I'm just going to go do it. It's really cool. Plus, if you think about it, it's not like you guys are in a metal cover band. You're creating a whole new sound for the band. So it's just, you're making it up as you go along.
Yeah, and I think that it didn't hurt Dave to have Gar on drums in that band because he was totally into Tony Williams and Lenny White and Cobham and Jack DeJohnette and people like that. So his style of playing kind of lent that band, it gave it a different sound than most drums in other bands in that genre at the time. And me and Gar have been playing together for so long that it was really easy for me to do whatever I wanted to do with my kind of style of playing, playing against his drumming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the style that you developed for yourself for that band, we look back now, it really distinguishes you from the Randy Rhoads stuff or the Van Halen school. I mean, you've got your own part of the universe where, every guitar player that followed you in that band has to deal with that. You know what I mean? And I think it's great that you came from Mahavishnu instead of, Accept or something like that.
Oh, well, thanks, Oscar.
Yeah. I want to play another song because I love music and I love the stuff you guys do. This song is the title track from the album Circus of Sound. I'm going to play the track, going to do a little commercial, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk gear.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
I can dig it. I certainly can. And if you go to the baked potato, you will be digging it too, as I have dug it. Dug in deep. True Tone Music is a virtual candy store for guitarists and bass players. They're world famous for having the best selection of new, used, and vintage guitars in the Los Angeles area. Located at 714 Santa Monica Boulevard in the city of Santa Monica, True Tone Music offers the widest selection of exceptionally high-quality guitars and basses. They stock name brands like Fender, Gibson, Guild, Epiphone, Gretsch, and much, much more. It's where the top names in the music industry shop for guitars, basses, amps, boutique pedals, and accessories. Whether you want to buy, sell, trade, or get guitar lessons or repairs, True Tone Music's super cool staff is there to make your music come to life. They'll also match any online price and back it up with top-notch customer service and support. Visit them online at TrueToneMusic.com or call 310-393-8232. That's 310-393-8232. Ask for Ken. Say Oscar sent you. Say, hopefully I can find a cool guitar that I can play exactly like Chris Poland. Maybe, if you're lucky. Yes. Because, Chris, you got that violin thing going on. The violin tone. The sultry, smooth, the velveteen tone. This has been documented to death, but can you tell listeners about your finger?
Oh yeah, man. I think I was a freshman in high school, and this guy came up and threw all my books down, and so I chased after him, and I ran through a doorway to I guess it was the lab, and they didn't have any chicken wire in the glass. It was 9 panes of frosted glass. And so the hydraulic wasn't connected to the door, and he slammed a 100-pound door at me, and I put my hands up, and one hand went through the window, and then he opened the door up to see if I was all right, and it just thrashed. It just cut all the tendons in my pointer finger and my pinky finger. Mm-hmm. I can't bend my pointer finger, and I can't feel my pinky finger.
Wow. And because I noticed to watch you play, people will notice this right away. It's very, you just can't miss it. Your index finger is bent, and you rotate your wrist down over the neck for the legato phrases. Unlike, the Hendrix over the neck grip, the thumb. You know what I mean?
Right, the thumb over the neck. Yeah.
And but what's come out of that is this great legato style that you've developed. It sounds awesome.
Well, thanks.
So are you sending royalties to the guy that cut your hand or anything for inventing a whole new style of guitar playing? That sounds.
Oh man, sometimes I wish I could bend it, man. Then other guys guitar players around town. Bob Robles for one. Mm-hmm. He's a great guitarist in the LA area. He's a great jazz player, a great rock player. Anyway, he said, "You know what, Chris? If you never cut your finger, you just would have been just like everybody else." I said,
exactly.
"What?"
Well, but it's true. I mean, I know it's painful, and you'd like to have some feeling in your fingers, but on the upside, you've got this whole thing that's just you. Everyone knows it's you. When I listen to the Queensryche or the Lamb of God or the Polecats or all that, it's well, there he is. That's him. That's the greatest compliment. But here's my question. You rotate your wrist down to do the legato. How does that affect your chord work?
A lot of my chords are all triads. Mm-hmm. So I'm using my pinky a lot for chords, and I do use my thumb for a lot of chords too. I'll do the Hendrix, thumb over the neck thing. Well, I can't bar a chord with my my pointer finger because I can't, get certain notes because my finger's bent. So I just work around it, and I think ever since it happened, I said, well, this chord sounds better this way anyway. Mm-hmm. And so instead of playing it the way you would normally play it, I'll just play it a different way as a triad and do the root with my thumb.
Right. Right. Yeah, I also noticed I was watching you Tuesday night, and you make use of like voicings that use, say, 2 fingers, but a lot of open strings. And it really,
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
it really works for the sound of a 3-piece because you've got the ringing thing.
Yeah, I'd like to do that a lot because, like you said, it fills up a lot of space and it just adds a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of space, I got to bring this up because when I saw you after your set, this is the thing that was left with me because, you know, I'm a cheap bastard, so I'm thinking, man, I bet I can get his sound through a pig nose and a DS1 and a DD7 or DD5 or whatever. But it's just really not true because I'm a cheap bastard. But there's in the set you have the I forgot what you call it, but it's the cascading delay where the delay continues while from the last thing you were playing and you're on to a different phrase in the song, and it is the coolest sound, the stereo delay thing.
Oh yeah.
It is just the coolest because I don't hear that very often. You know, it's like the delay is set, then you do something else, but you know everything cuts off, but you've got this overlap that's awesome. How do you do that?
It's the custom audio. It's Bob Bradshaw's custom audio electronic stuff. What I do is I have one delay that's dedicated to doing just hangover delay.
Right.
And I have one button on my pedal board, so I know that if I get to an end of a solo and I feel like it would add to it, I'll just lean over on my last note, and as long as you hit the note when you hit the button, you'll get a really nice hangover delay. Then you just go on to your next part, and it just, like you said, it becomes an event. You know, it's like wow, that's cool. That thing's still going. Why? How is he going to that next part? You know, It's just a trick. You know.
Yeah. Well, it works great, especially because you are in this. You're in a 3-piece where you have the space to do that, and it sounds awesome. The time before when I saw you, you had these really cool Yamaha semi-hollow body guitars, particularly the gold.
Oh yeah, those are great guitars.
But
they kind of ran the course. I mean, they were actually made for Santana. There was 2 hollow bodies that they had made in Japan for Carlos because he was complaining about the weight of the SBG 2000s. And so they made him those guitars, and they didn't even have a finish on them. They just showed them to him and said, "Here, how's this weight feel to you?" And Santana was like, "This is great." And then his manager said, "Well, if that's going to be his model, he'll need $1 million to do it." And at the time, he wasn't, in the position he was 10 years ago when he was making those great records with, all these, great singers on that one record. I can't remember the title of it, but he had Matchbox 20 singer on it.
Right.
I think, a bunch of great singers.
Right.
So, they didn't really feel like, $1 million, but they didn't do it, and they threw him under a desk, and they sat under that desk for like 13 years. And, of course, he went to Paul Reed Smith, and the rest is history, But they made those guitars for me, and I dug them for a long time. And then Schecter approached me, and I wasn't sure, I went down, and when I played them, I was like, yeah, no, this is where I'm at right now. So, the necks are really nice, and just the tone I get out of the guitar, it's more of what I was looking for. They are quite a bit heavier, though.
They are heavier?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow, because they're not semi-hollow.
Yeah, they're not semi-hollow, so I do feel the weight of it. The body's a lot bigger than a Les Paul. It's wider, so there's a lot of weight there, but it's worth it though.
Is it? Does it have the comfort cut like on the SG?
Yeah, in the back.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, they look really cool. They're very striking, and because I took some photos of them on at the Baked Potato. I put them up on the Facebook site, and they look really cool. But those aren't stock, right?
Oh no, I had they they made the scale length for me. I asked them to make me 2 guitars with the original Gibson scale length, which is a little bit longer than your average Gibson scale length. It's hard to describe. It's just it's longer enough that it almost feels somewhere in between a Strat and a Les Paul, but not quite the same as a Paul Reed Smith. Right. And then I had the radius. I did a compound radius at 17, and put 6100 frets on it, and then did the Buzzy Eaton mod on it, and they're rocking.
Wow. And did they choose the pickups for you, or did you get your own?
No, you know what? I actually tried to put some different pickups in it, and none of them sounded right. So I went back to their pickup configuration, but in the bridge pickup, I just loosened the screws on the back of the pickup, and I popped out the magnet, and I put an Alnico 5 magnet where there used to be a ceramic magnet. You just loosen the screws in the back, and then you pop that magnet out, and then you just push whatever new magnet you want in it, and then tighten the screws down again. You just have to be careful to put it in the right way, otherwise when you put both pickups on, they'll be out of phase. So I think it's a full shred with an Alnico 5 in it.
Wow. Yeah, that's a nice setup. It sounded great Tuesday night. How's the Floyd working for you?
Oh, it's great. It's great. I love I couldn't play a guitar without one.
Yeah. Any problems with it? Do you know which version that is?
I think on their guitars they use a Korean made, and I use a German made. And then I went from using 3 springs, then I went to 4 springs. Now I use 5 springs, and believe it or not, when you use 5 springs, it actually has less tension on the bar, and it's way easier to do like pitch bend stuff on it. And you would think that if you put 5 springs on a Strat, it would stiffen it up. Not a Strat, but any guitar with a tremolo on it. But it doesn't. It actually makes it more wobbly.
Yeah. I noticed you've got a thick piece of metal in the back of your.
I used to have that on the headstock of the Yamahas. And the way I got around that with these guitars is I used a big chunk of brass on the where the springs attached to the bottom of the bridge. And I found a company that actually makes a cover that screws down on the springs so that they're just really tight to the bridge itself. I can't remember their name right off the top of my head, but you could find it on eBay. And ever since I went to that, I don't really need the headstock brass.
Yeah, because this comes up with people who they diss Floyd Rose. Obviously the early ones they kind of thinned out your guitar a little bit, but that was a long time ago. And now you can get these huge like brass blocks you can put in the back that really resonates.
Yeah, that's what I'm using.
Yeah, that's what I have in my guitar. I mean, I have a Floyd on one of my Super Strats, and I got this huge brass block that my guy put in, and it just sounds awesome. There's no thinness. It's huge.
Yeah, you heard it right away, huh? When you put that on there, you said, holy. Yeah, I know, man.
It changes everything. So all you people who are still living in 1983, come on, join us. Get that brass block.
Well, man, what's weird is Van Halen. That's how I got the idea, because every once in a while I like to check out Van Halen. I'll study what he did. And I was looking through what he did for amps and how he hit the front of the amp, and all of a sudden I saw a photo of his guitar from behind, and there's a huge, 5-pound chunk of brass in his bridge. And he was doing that back when he had, the monster guitar, the Frankenstein guitar.
Right.
So he actually started that whole thing before anybody ever even had the idea to even sell them.
Yeah, it just tosses that whole thinness argument out. The one I have in my guitar is made out of a piece of a bell.
Yeah, I have that. I know which one you're using.
It's this. Yeah, it's like, and it sustains for days. I have to ask you this. We're getting toward the end of the show, but I have to get to this question that people will berate me if I don't ask this. You did some work on, a Megadeth album. The System Has Failed a while ago. Is there any chance of you doing any more sessions with them or doing any recording with them in the future?
Oh, I don't know. That's up to Dave. I mean, that whole thing that happened. There was a riff after that last when I worked on the Vinnie Colaiuta record where Vinnie played drums.
Right.
Dave was remastering and remixing all the records, right? And he was putting all these songs on that I had played for, I think it was Rust in Peace.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, hey, that's great and everything. And then he released the record and didn't pay me, but all those guys got paid for their performances. And I said, Dave, I tried to call him and he had changed his number, and then I called his management like 10 times. And so finally I called his management the 11th time, and I said, listen, man, if you don't call me back, I'm going to have Owen Sloan call you. And he didn't call me back. So that's how that came about. It really wasn't between me and Dave. It was like between Dave's management and myself. And I told Owen what was going on, and he said, well, that's not right. I mean, if they're getting paid, you should get paid. And so I eventually got paid.
Oh, good. That's great. I'm glad you got paid. Well, Chris Poland, I hope you guys could play together again, because that sound, you just kick ass on those recordings, and Dave, and there's a...
Yeah, you know what? I love playing over Dave's stuff because, it's a very dark edge. I mean, if you listen to the first song on that record, on The System Has Failed, the very first solo that's the kind of stuff I like to do against Dave's, the way he writes, because it's very sinister and just dark, and I don't know, it's just fun to do,
Yeah. Well, hey, man, Chris, thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm very grateful.
Oh, man, you have a great audience.
They dig your stuff. Thanks for coming on. You're welcome anytime to come on my show.
Oscar, thank you.
You're welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Chris Poland. Set mind to purpose and visit him at chrispoland.com or the Ohm website at 3ohms.com. Go forth and purchase every piece of music he has ever written. We'd also like to thank our sponsors, Reunion Blues Gig Bags and Accessories. Visit them at reunionblues.com. Also, True Tone Music at truetonemusic.com, making your music come to life. And last but not least, Mojave Amp Works. Visit the Oasis of Tone at mojaveampworks.com. Want to become a sponsor? Email me at oscarsguitarshop@gmail.com. Tune in next week when our guest will be Def Leppard guitarist Phil Collen. Take care of yourselves. Be nice to each other. See you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.